Hello and welcome back to the Sports Show. I'm your host, Curtis Brown. With me, Blake Bellamy. Blake, what's up, man?
Oh no, man! Excited. Great day of football. Great
Oh,
day.
we are coming at you just moments after the Dallas Cowboys have fall to the Arizona Cardinals. Um, so we're kind of got dual screen action with the Football Night in America, soon to be Sunday Night Football game going on, at least on my end. Um, but we got a lot of stuff to cover today. Indy loses and Tennessee wins over the Dolphins. That means Tennessee clinches the AFC South for the second year in a row. How many crowns is that total? Like four?
Not many. It's not many.
Not,
No,
uh,
I think it's four in at least my lifetime, or at least my time watching football. Maybe five total. As a Titan, not as a like Oiler franchise. But even then, Oilers never really won it either.
yeah. And then Indy falls to 9-7, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Nine and
or
seven.
eight
Yeah.
and eight, maybe.
No, they had 9 wins. They were
Okay, then they're 9-7.
behind the
Yes, they're 9-7.
Yeah. Okay. So they're 9-7, and they've got another game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, right?
Yeah, so that's gonna be an easy one.
It
I
should.
mean, Jax just lost by like 115 points
Yeah.
against the Patriots.
Mac Jones threw more touchdowns than he did in completions, and anytime that happens, that's just a good sign for your football team.
Hmm.
Unless you're the team that happens to. Um, but regardless of that, I mean, if there was one team in the division that seemed to have the random number of the Colts on random occasions, it is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's
Um,
true. They were their only win last year. It was week one.
exactly. So with that being said, I think this might be one of those games where the Colts overlook the Jags, and as most people do, and you assume that even if you do overlook them, you're still going to beat them by at least double digits. But I think this might be a game where they're caught sleeping. What about you?
I hope so. I'm not as optimistic. I do think the Colts are going to win. I don't see them dropping two straight. I feel like next week they'd have to win as well. If they lose and the Raiders win, for some reason, Indy is the sixth seed, whereas the Raiders are just in the hunt, even though they just won. They both have a share a 9-7 record.
Updated or will update on the whatever you're looking at.
The
I don't
seed.
I don't know where you're looking at.
This is just Pro Football Network. This is their seeding as of right now. Um, And for some reason, yeah, the Raiders are eighth seed, which is not in the playoffs, but Indy is sixth.
I
So I feel like if Indy loses, then they're gonna be done.
I thought that that the Raiders jumped the Dolphins,
The
and
Dolphins, they did, I believe, but their Dolphins aren't even in. They're out of the playoffs now.
right, the Raiders jumped the Dolphins, um, and I thought the Colts slid down to the 7th seed.
They're the sixth. It has the Chargers at seventh.
Hmm. Okay, that makes more sense. I forgot that if the Chargers won, they would be at the 7th spot. So okay, I'm with it
So
now. So
that's why I think the Colts are gonna win. I don't see them dropping two, because then that'll be pretty dangerous for them.
yeah, it's a very necessary win. Um, but with the Titans, next week they travel to Houston, a team that's already beat them once this season. You and I were both present for that game in Nashville. Uh,
Hmm. Terrible game.
yeah,
Very rainy.
very, very rainy, very cold. Um, but I mean,
Much like today's game.
yeah, much like today's game. Um, but the Titans are fighting for clinching the 1 seed, and the Texans are fighting to piss the Titans off. Um, so
Honestly.
at this point, that's what it is. Last time Tyrod Taylor played the Titans, he I think completed like 7 passes, but for
All of them touchdowns, I feel like. That
throw a single touchdown, he ran for two.
was
Um,
a bad game.
yeah, but Davis Mills is the starting quarterback, and over the last couple weeks, I think he's, um, damn, what are we? we're 4-12 now, so I think he's won 2 of the last 3 games. He's been able to find some sort of rhythm. He's learning the game. The game is slowing down for him. I think the Titans defense is going to be a monstrous struggle for him, especially considering the offensive line. But it is a Texans Titans game.
Never know.
You never know. Like, he's shown flashes, like against the Patriots, where he throws 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he just looks great. And he's shown games where he'll just go out there and can't move the ball. So for me, I think it's like a 75% chance that it's don't move the ball kind of game for the Texans. And a 25% chance that it's competitive.
Yeah.
And you notice how I don't think that the Texans are going to win.
Just scare them a little bit.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad if they put them on the Titans' heels. So I wouldn't mind it. I don't want them getting comfortable with 2 blowouts. Like if the Titans did blow Houston out, which I don't really see that happening. But if they had 2 blowouts, that might make them a little uncomfortable going to that first round bye.
Yeah. That would also make it a little bit more suspect going into the playoffs as far as seeding goes. You would basically need other teams to lose just so you could, maintain. So the Titans have a lot to fight for. I think from what I understand, there's rumors of Derrick Henry running on the practice field and getting loose and not really limiting himself on the side field while everything else is going on at practice. And if that's the case, then from what I understand, he's eligible to play in the game next week.
Correct.
So, I mean, he's definitely going to go over 1,000 yards, right?
I feel like that's my kind of theory. So yeah, Clay Travis, who's the one that kind of broke this story. He said that Derrick Henry was operating full participation on the practice field, but obviously he's not elevated, so he's not with the team. He was just on side fields. And he said he looked really good. Derrick Henry's kind of built different. The injury was 6 to 10 weeks, and we're at week 9 now, so it does make sense that he's probably pretty healed. And they said, yeah, he might play on week 18 to kind of dust off the rust, as they said. And I think that'd be good. I think my theory is he just wants to hit 1,000 yards regardless. So I think even if there was if he was at 800 yards, you best believe he's going to run for 201.
I mean, and he's playing the Texans, who have not really found answers in the form of stopping the run, especially against Derrick Henry. So, I mean, even if he was at 300 yards, there's a chance.
Even if this doesn't even mean anything, because actually you have as many touchdowns this year as Julio Jones, but Julio Jones will be back next week as well. He was just on the COVID list this week. He's not hurt, so he'll definitely be cleared by next Sunday.
Yeah. So the Titans should be at full strength.
For the first time this year.
Going, and that's really kind of the best situation for the Titans possible. You're at full strength going into the playoffs.
And I feel like that's kind of Mike Vrabel and John Robinson's kind of master plan, because a lot of these guys, even David Long, they never put him on IR, but they kind of held him out till this week because we got Zach Cunningham, who's been lights out for the Titans this year, and he's really just saving his best players for later. And they kept on taking Julio Jones out just throughout the year. Anytime he was kind of even like if he was on his period or something like that, they would just take Julio right out to kind of preserve him.
Coach, I pulled my twat muscles. I don't know if I can say it. It's fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. If just pretend you didn't hear that if you were offended, and then just move on.
Just beep it out or something. Go back over it and sing like a Christmas jingle.
Yeah.
But yes, so I imagine that both the Colts and the Titans win next week. And the Titans should lock up the first seed, ensuring the bye week and ensuring Derrick Henry has even more time to rest. Is there any world where you see the Titans perhaps resting some of the players you just mentioned?
No, not this week. Especially because if we win, we get the first round bye. I feel like if there's like a commanding lead in the third quarter, you might see some, but I don't see us having a commanding lead over Houston. I mean, we still have to win this game. Still need the first seed. Um, and the Titans really do need a bye week. All those injuries we have had just kind of rest everyone up a little bit. But I do want Derrick Henry to play because I want him to be ready now. And then by the time playoffs start, he's a little rusty.
Yeah.
So I do think it's going to be everyone's going to be full go.
Okay. Did anybody get hurt in today's game?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Did anybody get hurt today? Oh, Pruitt. Pruitt had that.
Michael Pruitt. Yeah, he pretty much lost his leg today. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, basically.
What was really strange though about this one is so Michael Pruitt, tight end, is a devastating ankle injury in a rain game against the Miami Dolphins. Well, 3 years ago, Delaney Walker, tight end, against the rain, against the Dolphins, had a horrible ankle injury, and he never really played after that. He came back like 2 seasons later, got like 20 catches, and then also re-injured the same ankle. And it looked very similar with Michael Pruitt. And I feel like he might have similar fates, which is very unfortunate, especially for him because he's no Delaney Walker. He's on a Pro Bowl tight end. So his career might be done with. And he's been a very solid run blocking and even pass catching tight end. He's advertised as a run blocker, but I mean, he's scored a lot of touchdowns that are very difficult to grab. So it's very sad for him.
I agree. I mean, I was watching the game at home, and I just remember I can't remember the damn commentator's name, but he was like,
We had Trent Dilfer and someone.
it was Trent Green and
Trent Green.
Yeah, Trent Dilfer. He's the head coach at one of the high schools.
Lipscomb Academy. Yeah.
Shouts to Trent Dilfer. Shouts to Lipscomb.
Yeah. Shout out.
But I just remember maybe it was Brett Musburger. No,
I don't know. I didn't know who the guy was whenever I saw him.
Yeah, the voice was very familiar. Paul McGuire, maybe. Anyway,
no,
not the point. He's like, we have a very significant leg injury to a player on the field, and that immediately my eyes were like, let's see it. So
they covered it up with a towel like immediately.
Oh yeah, it was.
And then they went to commercial break.
Yep.
So let's get out of here.
Oh, I could see that his foot was facing the wrong direction. Anyway, but forward, obviously being the wrong direction. Yeah, it looked pretty gnarly. Like I texted you.
Yeah, that was rough. I feel bad for him.
R.I.P. his ankle. Like it's done for.
It's done. Yeah, he might be done. That might be his last snap in the NFL.
Very well. But so I read an article the other day that said that Davis Mills might be the best of the 2021 quarterback class. What say you?
He's number 2. Mac Jones, he's got number 1.
Yeah.
But Mac Jones see my issue with Mac Jones, he's just a check down machine.
Mm-hmm.
He's not very diverse. I want to see him mid-range. I want to see the deep ball. I've seen it a little bit, but not consistently enough to say like he's definitely the best. Davis Mills definitely number 2. No one else. It's 1, 2, and then the rest. I don't think any of the rookies are any good.
Yeah, I mean when you go by the list here, I mean Sam Etlinger, who got drafted by the Colts in like the 5th round or whatever. I don't think he got hurt in the preseason. We haven't seen him because what's his name started when Wentz missed.
Ethan.
Yeah. And then Trevor Lawrence.
Not good.
Sunshine Boy. I see his damn Subway commercials all the damn time.
They're terrible.
Terrible Subway commercials. Look at me.
Yeah, he looks like he does not want anything to do with it. He reminds me of Jake Locker. He just does not want to play football. He does not like anything about it.
He looks like a woman trying to pretend to be a man playing football.
Yeah, he looks like the first human being. Like he's just the bone structure is just bad. He looks like a Neanderthal.
Could be. Oh, you Magnan.
Have you seen the picture of like him and Mac Jones, their hair switched?
No, that's hilarious.
Dude, Mac Jones is a beautiful woman. If you switch with Trevor Lawrence's hair on Mac Jones's face, it's pretty funny. Okay. And then Trevor Lawrence just looks ridiculous.
Well, naturally, Trevor Lawrence would be just the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, he looks like a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, he is. I think he watched Friday Night. Oh shit! It's not Friday Night Lights. It's Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
Yeah, he watched Remember the Titans and was just like, I want to be the guy with the long hair that people call sunshine. And that, he's younger than both of us, so he would have been like 4
Yeah.
watching that and then being like, this is the only thing that is ever going to influence my life. And no one's ever talked him out of it. I
And
have
he's the first overall draft pick though,
first
so
overall
it worked.
draft pick. Of course, it worked. He played for football factory Clemson. You know what I mean? I mean, like that's that. There's been like a decade of nothing but like just pure talent coming out of Clemson, feeding into the NFL.
I wonder if
Or
he just burned out though from Urban Meyer. I wonder if he's gonna be like, if this one season was so terrible that he's just like, you know what, fuck football, fuck Jackson, I don't want to
I
win.
that, but I doubt it. So going into the offseason, what do you think the Jags' biggest must fix needs are, obviously outside of the head coaching vacancy?
Yeah, so I know this is what you just said not to do. They have to have. They just need better management. I feel like no matter what, they're doomed. Shad Khan is a horrible owner, and I feel like whoever they choose is going to be the wrong person. But talent wise, they got to do something with that offensive line. They got to protect him because Trevor Lawrence doesn't even have time to throw it. He's got weapons. Like his running backs are good. He'll get AETN back next year, which they didn't need him. It was a waste of a draft pick. And then he ended up getting hurt, so it was even a bigger waste.
Right.
The receivers are all right, even though a lot of them ran the wrong routes. But I blame the coaches on that one. Secondary, they need better. Honestly, the whole defense kind of sucks. They're in a position since they already have the quarterback. They just need to go best player available. And I don't know anything about college football right now. I'll catch up on that once the playoffs are over with. Um, but Aiden Hutchinson or something, I think that's his name. He's like a pass rusher out of Michigan. I've heard great things about him, and I could be butchering his name and where he goes to school, but something like Eden something. And I heard he's probably in. If he's the best player, like unanimously, they got to draft him. I just think they just need to get the best player. They need talent. That's kind of what Cincinnati did. I thought they should have kept Andy Dalton, but they ended up getting Burrow, and T Higgins the second round. Now they're one of the best teams in the league. So I think you just kind of just need best talent at the point because Andy Dalton was serviceable, but once you see like a player you can't pass up, you got to take him.
Yep. And I think one of the things you brought up the Bengals after they got Burrow the next year, they drafted Jamar Chase, who today
Yep,
like 3 touchdowns of over
lit it up.
yards.
Yeah,
The man absolutely tore it up. So first of all, hats off to that man. That just bravo, sir. Jamar Chase.
yeah, Jamar Chase.
Have a day, sir. But for Houston in the offseason, there's already been confirmation that David Culley will not be fired. So I don't think there's going to be any major staff changes. I think they're going to be aiming at an offensive line improvement, even though
Yeah,
we've made tremendous strides since last year. Um, and then it'll be linebackers and corners because we have like the most players on 1-year deals possible. There's going
oh,
to be a lot of roster turnover again. So I hope that they keep on holding on to Scotty Phillips. I can't remember what he injured, but he's not played since like I don't know, like week 9. And I hope that he'll be back next year because I think he's actually the guy at the running back position. But we'll see. Beyond that, I mean, if in fact the Texans feel like Davis Mills needs a year to see to actually prove whether or not he is the guy, then I think that they're going to probably go with drafting a tackle or a guard in the first round. And then, of course, the trade of Deshaun Watson, if that's something that ends up happening, that's going to yield a lot of draft capital, and potentially some starting caliber players. So,
yeah,
um, a lot is at stake for the offseason. I think if the Texans go out with a win, I think it might actually leave a better taste in their mouths going into the offseason. And I think that might create a little bit of buzz being able to sweep the Tennessee Titans, who in theory could go on to the Super Bowl as a number 1 seed. What about you? What do you think Houston needs to get addressed?
Definitely offensive line. I think your defense is pretty good. I feel like you need a playmaker either like at safety or corner. You just need someone with a lot of confidence. It'll just be your shutdown leader up back there. Quarterback, I really don't know. It really just really depends on a lot of factors. The quarterback class isn't great, and you know what you got with Davis Mills. He's only going to get better. So I would be one of those people that just want to keep him, draft players, and then draft a team, and then draft a quarterback or maybe a free agent the following year that'll fit your scheme or the best player available. I think next year it's not a year that you're going to try to compete for a championship, but you're going to like lay a lot of foundation down for your next quarterback if Davis Mills is not the guy.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen at the quarterback position is they're going to let Tyrod go, or if they can bring back on a cheap deal, they will. And if that's the case, that's probably all the moves that they'll make for the quarterback room. If not, if they don't want to bring Tyrod back, they'll probably bring. They might bring in some younger guy or trade for like Minshew or something. Or
I was actually going to bring up Minshew. I think that would be really having Minshew back there. He's a starting quarterback. The Eagles are doing a disservice to their team by not starting Minshew.
Yeah, I completely agree, but I don't know if he's necessarily a great fit for what the Texans are aiming for. I think Davis Mills has a little bit better of an arm in terms of like moving it downfield.
Yeah.
The crap out of it. But somebody like a Gardner Minshew would probably offer at least stability if he were not to be, if Davis Mills is not the guy. And I think Gardner's going to get you at least 3 or 4 wins. If he's starting the whole year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, no, Mitch definitely needs some. I think you guys just need a lot of weapons. You guys do have Brandon Cooks, but Brandon Cooks, he's very flighty. He switched teams every year, so I don't know if you can count that guy forever.
It's not a thing with him though. It's not, I mean, it's not like he's got like personality issues. It's just
That's my theory. I think he has personality issues because no one gets traded that many times without there being an issue.
But he's been in Houston now for 2 years, 2 consecutive 1,000-yard.
Yeah, he's good. He's the only playmaker really that you guys got.
Yes,
I like Nico Collins. He's showing up every now and then.
yeah.
I feel like if he was with like a better quarterback, he'd have some pretty good numbers. Like if they were with an aerial team, like if he was on the Bengals right now, he'd be looking real good.
He would be looking phenomenal. But I think the lack of a running game and the fact that we're leaning on 31-year-old Rex Burkhead to be the guy.
Yeah. He's doing all right. He's had some games where he's done all right.
149 yards, week 16, but
I know.
Rex Burkhead.
I know you don't want Rex Burkhead as your starting running back.
Radio station in the offseason bitching about why we signed him. I have no idea why. What is the like? He's 31. I understand the idea of maybe like plug today, fix tomorrow, but Jesus, why not?
I think he's gonna go for a running back, either free agency. Like I know you like Scotty Phillips a lot, but I don't think they're gonna go roll with Scotty Phillips to RB1 next year.
He won't be RB1, but I think what happens is they'll bring in somebody because they're gonna cut David Johnson. I think this is the last year on his deal anyway.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done. They're not going to bring back Rex Burkhead because they just don't do that. So what's going to happen is Scotty Phillips is going to be on the practice squad and then signed to a reserve contract into the offseason. And then there's I don't know who's eligible to be a free agent next year in the running back department.
I don't even know. It is pretty easy to find running backs, so you can find a lot of them off the streets. I mean, the Titans, both their running backs right now are all practice squad guys that they're putting up some numbers. Even Patterson that plays for the Washington football team, he went out there and balled out today, and he signed him a couple weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Running backs are a dime a dozen, and that's why I think that they're not trying to pay through the nose. So I think whatever running backs they bring in, they're going to be vastly different and vastly cheap.
Yeah, bring a few good guys in that are cheap or affordable. Like, what's your GM's name again?
Nick
Nick
Caserio.
Caserio, yeah, because he was, yeah, I mean, over the offseason, like he did kept signing much like 1 2 year deals. And it was like with a lot of players that like very cheap but high rewards. And I feel like he'll probably continue that trend again this year. But I think he's gonna throw in a little bit bigger fish this season.
Yeah. Well, going into the offseason, we've already got, I think, 9 draft picks.
Do you actually want the Titans, or do you want to lose against the Titans week 18?
I would
It's
prefer.
at this point better draft.
I don't care about the draft positioning because
You know,
I don't think that that's necessarily going to be indicative of where we're picking, uh,
mhm.
because of the uncertainty circling around Deshaun Watson, because of the uncertainty that Nick Caserio that we just brought up, that Caserio made like 51 transactions this offseason, which is a lot, including trades. So I think there are going to be more trades done in the offseason. They were trying to trade some people at the deadline and it couldn't work, and they cut a couple of those guys like Philip Lindsay, Zach Cunningham. So
Thank you for Cunningham, by the way. I appreciate it.
Zach Cunningham's good in run stopping, but if you watch when play action happens, he will
He
bite.
lost.
He will bite every single time. Every single time. Even if like you just like pretend to fake the ball to the running back. He's like, wait, shit.
He can never
Smart
be an offensive lineman.
man, smart guy, very talented man, led the league in tackles last year. But from what I understand, he basically just kind of was not showing up to meetings and was not doing things the way that David Culley wanted people to do it. And I understand that, it's the Texans rebuild and everybody's not wanting to,
Stick around for it.
that. So, people are going to show their ass and try to get their way out the door. And I get that. And do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, I think that's kind of a character flaw. And I don't think you're going to build a championship team with character flaws like that. You know,
Hmm.
so that's just one humble observer, not a doctor. Not a doctor.
Yeah, I think he's only on that last year of his contract, so I think he's gonna be gone after the season anyway, unless Tennessee re-signed him. Oh, do you have some years on it? Okay.
Yeah, it was we had just re-signed him to a 4-year, $55 million deal.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So when we waived him, we anticipated that nobody would pick him up.
Yeah, because then they had like a $10 million injury clause,
Yeah. So like
and they're
when you guys picked him up, you just cleared up a whole bunch of cap space for us, which was real nice. So in many ways, thank you.
kind of a trade in a way, money for a player.
Essentially, yeah. Essentially. Nobody anticipated that he would actually be claimed on waivers. So when the Titans did it, it was kind of shocking. All right. But let's segue now into playoff favorites. In the NFC, who is the hottest team and who would you ride to the Super Bowl? Ride with, not ride literally.
NFC, I'm really sticking with what I said in the beginning, man. Arizona Cardinals. Arizona is the team that I think is gonna go to the Super Bowl. I don't trust Green Bay. I just don't. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with that. He is. But they just always choke. They always lose against bad teams too. That's kind of their downfall.
That's true.
And in the playoffs, guess what? You only got good teams. The Rams, see, they're all kind of good. Honestly, the NFC is actually pretty competitive. But I'm going with Arizona. My number 2 is probably Tampa, just because can't bet against Tom Brady.
That's true. I mean, I can't disagree with either one of those selections, but I'm going to have to just for the purpose of being diverse here. I like what the Packers have this year. They faced a lot of adversity, and they're still the number 1 seed. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is trying to get one last win for the Pack before he goes on somewhere else. And Devontae
Going to Pittsburgh, probably.
And then the boys are out of town. So, I think that he's trying to do like a victory tour.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to do everything in his power to get there. And whether or not he actually pulls through is one thing or the other, but he's done it once. So the possibility.
Yeah. It is Aaron Rodgers, man. You can never count Aaron Rodgers out.
Exactly.
He's like Brady. It's very hard to bet against him. And yeah, I can really honestly see this whole list. At least the first 5 seeds. I don't think San Francisco or Philly is gonna do anything. I think they'll be one and done. Dallas has a real chance. I love Dak.
I
Didn't he
think
get hurt?
Dallas is going to be one and done.
You think Dallas will be one and done?
Absolutely.
I love their defense. Micah Parsons and Trey Diggs, them boys.
Look, they're talented, but they're young, and they
They
will
are young.
mess up. They don't know how to handle success properly because
Mhm.
like where they've been in the franchise.
Yeah.
Um, there's going to be a lot of growing pains in the playoffs for the Colts the Cowboys. So
Yeah.
I don't anticipate them getting beyond whatever. Like if they fuck around and end up being the 1 seed, I don't think that's even possible. But
No, it's not. I think they can get to the third at most.
okay,
But that's still they'll definitely have a playoff home
I,
game.
depending on who they're playing, I think they're one and done. Like if they
Okay.
playing, um, Philly,
Yeah, they'd play either Philly. There's a few combinations like Philly or San Francisco,
the only
New
one
Orleans.
they're going to win. If they end up going to the second round, it's going to be done. Like they're not
Yeah,
going to the championship game. They're not going to the Super Bowl. It's just not going to happen. Jerry
yeah.
Jones,
I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl.
franchise, the ghost of Jerry Jones. But my second team in the NFC is going to be the Bucks too, because again, Tom Brady. It,
Yeah, even with Antonio Brown just committing career suicide again. That man survived career suicide like 11 times.
I don't understand
Um,
the point. How do you? Why? What are you doing? Like,
he just loves the attention. I think he's such like a narcissist that he just loves the attention on him.
just play football. Just be chill.
You're getting so much money, dude. Like
Just chill the fuck out. It's not that serious, I promise, bro.
he's so stupid.
But in the AFC, we've got I feel like it's a little bit of a tighter race in the AFC.
It is. There's a lot of talent too here. It's Titans, Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, Patriots are confirmed playoff seeds. And then in the hunt, it's going to be the Colts, Chargers, Rams. I'm sorry, Raiders, Steelers, and Ravens.
Gotcha.
But the Ravens have a very outside look. It's not probably going to happen.
Yeah. A lot of shit would have to happen for that to happen.
Yeah.
I think my favorites in the AFC, um, I'm gonna say, that's a tough one. If the Titans are at full strength, I think you're an idiot if you don't go with them.
Yeah.
Um,
Derrick Henry, man, that's another beast. And they've been winning without him. Man, it's going to be crazy getting him back. And he's hungry.
yeah, he's gonna need to be fed. And unfortunately, there will be linebackers and defensive linemen aplenty. Beyond that, beyond the Titans, it's kind of a toss up. I feel like the Chiefs would be the clear number two, but the inconsistency early in the season and then the loss to the Bengals today, who are, I think they clinched the division too. So they're
They
in
did. First time in a while. I can't remember the last time the Bengals won it.
2015.
Wow. Okay. That one season, they're all right.
Yeah. I didn't know that. And it was on the scroll thing at the bottom of the TV earlier. Um, but yeah, so I mean, like Titans and the Chiefs, I think is probably the correct answer there. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the Titans. I've been saying Titans, Cardinals, Super Bowl all year. Um, but honestly, so I have the same issue with the Chiefs. I feel like they would be the obvious number two, but they have been incredibly inconsistent. So I'm going to go with my top two AFC teams. Tennessee is number one, and then Bengals is number two. However, Joe Burrow did get hurt, and we don't know how much because he got hurt like the last drive. So we'll see how that goes. If he's hurt, then they're done. But I love this team. The Bengals are so good, and I like watching them play. And they're going to be a threat in the playoffs, I think. I think they could definitely be a sleeper. I think the Bills are way too inconsistent. Patriots are too one-dimensional. Colts, they could do some damage, and Chargers, they're too inconsistent.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of toying with the idea of the Patriots being my two because the defense that they have is so stout.
It is.
And the running game is so potent. And then Mac Jones, he's a death by a thousand paper cuts kind of quarterback. He's not
Mm-hmm.
going to dash you down the field, but he'll hit you for 3 or 4 yards a pop, and
Adds up.
it'll add up. Next thing you know, he's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. And he's a winner. He does have the attitude. He's leadership. I keep saying Mac Miller. Rest of peace, Mac Miller. Mac Jones. Yeah, he's a leader, man. He definitely changed my mind a lot. I thought he was gonna be garbage, just like every other Alabama quarterback, including Tua today. Gotcha. Um, but yeah, Mac Jones. He's changed my mind. I do like Mac Jones a lot, and he is the quarterback for the Patriots. So he's gonna be pretty scary for years to come, I think.
I think so, especially with all the time he's going to have going into the off season with Bill Belichick. They're going to basically just mold him into what they want him to be, and I
Yeah,
think
they just need to learn how to draft a wide receiver, and they'll be all right. Give them some weapons.
it feels like the best wide receivers that the Patriots have ever had are typically undrafted,
Yeah, and they're small white guys, really.
or that. I mean, like Troy Brown. I think he was undrafted.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Denver Dion Branch.
I think he
And they
made.
really never had a whole lot of great ones. I mean, they did have Randy Moss. Randy Mouse.
Yeah, but he came in free agency. He didn't draft
Yeah,
him.
they didn't draft him. Yeah, they can't draft wide receivers to save their lives.
Tom Brady was like, run a go route every play, and I got you. And then it happened. And then they broke records.
26 touchdowns later.
Jesus Christ. But anyway, um, that's I think all I've got for this episode. Blake, do you have any closing comments?
Tighten up. That's it.
Got anything coming out with apartment 615 people should be aware of?
No, not really.
All right. I will be having the trailer for the new project I've been working on, The Will Clinton Show, out January 3rd. It'll be on the podcast page for YouTube or for on Facebook. So check out there for the trailer. It'll be a whole post. I think it'll be posted about 5 o'clock. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Curtis PD Network. Also at CPN Games. If you're one of those let's play kind of peoples, where I just kind of melodically whisper into the microphone playing Madden, um, or just kind of monotone, even
Yeah, the
whatever.
commentary is pretty funny.
Sometimes. So yeah, that's gonna do it. I think this is number 31, correct? I think so.
We never know. We always question every time anyway.
It's number 31, this sports show. Thanks for listening. Be good people.